Hi everybody. I keep fooling you and telling you that this is my last video, and then there's a reason that I keep doing another one. So I had this great opportunity after the conclusion of each day to read the comments that people leave in feedback. And it's really important to know kind of what's happening from your point of view as, for lack of a better word, a student who's a member of this class. And from there, we had lots of conversation with different teachers to try to figure out what were some of the frustrations. And so here's some of the things that I've heard. What I heard is that people enjoy the content that's in place in the course, but they really want more time to investigate it, including if there's additional links, they want time to look at those additional links. I'm also hearing that people want more time to process. So they need some time to say, now that I've learned this, I want to spend some time by myself to think about what this means for my course and the content that's in place, and then even to do some of the work around that content. And then lastly, I'm hearing people say, I want more time to collaborate. I want to work with my colleagues to say, did you get this from the article? And can we talk about it? And have you watched this video yet? And here's what I think it means for us. So I want you to know that we heard that and we're listening to you. So we want to make some changes. Tomorrow's day 3 for us. It's Thursday, and it's going to be our last day of any new content through a Keynote or Common Learning Experience. Tomorrow's theme is social and emotional learning, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm really proud to be part of a district that would dedicate an entire day of professional learning just to this theme. I shouldn't have said day. It won't take you the whole day. There's going to be 3 components that are common learning experiences for everybody. First, you'll watch a keynote from Rachel McCoy. Yay, Rachel. And she just gives some overall thoughts. And then we'll participate in 3 different ways. The first presentation is going to be about grief. The second presentation is going to be about self-care, and then the third one is about empathy. All 3 of those are common learning experiences. We are all going to participate in them, but they're not super lengthy, and so you'll be able to get through them. But I do think they give us great things to think about, not only for our role as teachers and how we best support students, but also our roles as human beings and the idea that we've been part of all of this process as well. At the conclusion of each one of those different themes, you'll see there's a list of links. All of them are optional. They're only if you want to do them. They're just chat sessions with counselors if you want somebody to process through the information that you've just learned. So feel free to join them. I mean, personally, those are some people who are great to talk to for me. So you make it work for your schedule. So if that's going to be our last day of new content through a keynote and through a common learning experience, that means that the next day, which is Friday, day 4, we won't have any of that. We're going to actually remove that for the day. That means Friday becomes kind of like a ketchup and mustard day. You decide what you want to do at that time, and I'm going to leave that up to every individual person. If you're feeling like you've got the time in the day and you want to go ahead and go through what we've been doing and investigate a tech tool and think about instructional application, then feel free to do that on Thursday. If you want to divide up your time between Thursday and Friday and spend half of that time in your ketchup and mustard day, go ahead and do that. If you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I'll be honest with you, Thursday is super duper overwhelming for me and my family, and so I want to use that time instead and do everything I'm supposed to do on Thursday on Friday, then you make that work for you. On Thursday, we're still going to have our Learn with a Colleague, but all of them are recorded. So if in your schedule you can't make any of those and you want to participate in them, we will send you the links to those. They're actually embedded in the original Google Doc as well as in Canvas. So you can go back and listen to any of the Learn with Colleagues that we've had throughout the entire week. They're all there for you. And then Fridays, Learn with a Colleague, there were 3 of them scheduled. We're gonna go ahead and cancel all 3 of those. And so again, if you wanna do Learn with a Colleague on Thursday and it doesn't work into your schedule, you can do that on Friday in one of the recorded links that we'll have available to you. So hopefully all of that makes really good sense for you. I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure I don't forget anything really quick. So that gives you really, really great flexibility between Thursday and Friday, and then it also cuts down half of the content that we had planned. So just as a reminder, kind of why we're doing this work, I know everybody's like really tired, right? It's been hard to like take a deep breath and to dig in there during this time. There's a couple things I want to mention. First of all, there's a really good blog post by Jennifer Gonzalez, who is the author of Cult of Pedagogy. And I'll just be really transparent. I don't always agree with everything that Jennifer Gonzalez says, but Kim Given and I were actually talking about this maybe a year ago. There's a blog post about the difference between being a curator and being a dumper. And what that meant was like, how much information do you give people in a short amount of time? I probably lean towards being a dumper more often than not, and maybe that's the case of what's happened now. So I just run across so much good information, and I am like get so excited, and then I can't wait to share it with everybody. So at times that can feel overwhelming for you, but that is never the intent of mine. And I hope that you can assume positive intent about the things that we're doing. An example of that would be, I understand that there was like a button that was pushed for grades, and that meant people got these nasty grams saying that it was late. And somebody said, Melissa, you sent me this this button saying that I was late, and it was bright red. And I was like, what you talking about? Like, I didn't even know what they were talking about, right? So I would just say, like, this has been such a moment of iteration for me. In the past, people have said, you're a perfectionist. And now I'm gonna be like, you should have seen the first time that I tried to design online learning for an entire week. I was in the midst of not being perfect and in the midst of complete and utter iteration every single day. The real reason that we're doing all this work is because when we started to do distance learning, it was such kind of a shock to all of us. And we were really in that emergency kind of mode of, okay, half day of professional learning, now we got to do this and we got to make this happen. And we didn't really know much about online learning. And we've been trying really hard to try to learn more about that so that we can be the best educators that we could be. You know, I think that we all have to accept that there's going to be some times during the next year that are not going to feel like they have felt in the past, and we have to be prepared for that. Prepared for that for our own sake. It's not healthy for us to feel like we're in crisis and to feel like every single day we're building the plane while we fly it. And I wanted to give an opportunity for people to have professional learning so it wouldn't feel that way next year and we could feel more prepared. So hopefully that is how people are feeling. And then additionally, I think that our families have been really clear about saying thank you so much for all the work that you've done, but we'd like to ask a little bit more for you. And I think that's fair. Like, we started off an emergency, but we have to kind of up our game a little bit if this is the way it's going to be next year, including the fact that if we have to go to a full distance model, you guys, we're gonna have to turn it around like that. We're gonna have to turn around like in like 24 hours or something. I think it's fair for families to ask that of us. So this 4 days that we have now really allows us to feel like we're gonna be able to do that for our students. And I think it's important that we have the information that we feel comfortable doing that as well. So the additional part of that is, besides kind of making some changes to the courses and doing a catch 'em up muster day on Friday, we're also going to ask that people dedicate 15 hours this summer to some additional professional learning. The course that we have is going to be available all summer. It'll be available in an asynchronous way, so people can go in and participate it at their will when it works into their schedule. It doesn't have to be scheduled in advance. And based on some of the feedback that we've received, we'll add some additional content that's been requested by people. But again, it's all going to be by choice. It's what works for you. As I'm having that conversation, people have said, do you want us to keep track of that information in a log? And my answer to that is no. I trust you as colleagues. I am not going in every night and looking at how many times you click in Canvas, nor will I do that this summer, because I trust that everybody has the best intent to be the best teacher that they can. I don't feel like I need to do that. So I trust that people are going to dedicate their 15 hours. And ultimately, when we come back together, I think that we'll be in situations that we'll have to have conversations about some of the information that's been presented in the coursework. And so it's also our commitment to our students, and it's our commitment to each other, to as colleagues, that we want people to be able to come to the table and be able to readily have those conversations about the content that we've learned, right? It's going to be uncomfortable if we all jump in and talk about the 4 phases of online learning, and there's one person who doesn't know what those 4 phases are or has ever been exposed to it. So that's kind of what our collective commitment is for each other. So 15 hours over the summer, so that we, again, can feel really, really prepared for any situation that's given to us next year. And we can continue just to be like this incredible organization that we've had in the past and will continue to have in the future. What will be our follow-up? To be honest with you, I don't know yet. We'll work on it. Maybe a Flipgrid. Maybe we'll have like a kind of, I don't know, a turn and talk session in Braves Academy about the work that you did over the summer. I don't know. The link committee will help come up with that. I don't know what it'll be right now. So, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay, last note. So I'm a big fan of Eleanor Roosevelt, and there are so many of her quotes that I think about, and here's one I wanted to read to you. With the new day comes new strength and new thoughts. So I think that the last couple days have been incredible and inspiring, and challenging at times, but tomorrow's a new day. And it's a chance for us to dive into learning again, and hopefully to be able to do so with a little bit more of a relaxed pace so that people have some time to process. And proactively, a round of applause to our counseling team for putting together this last day of learning, which is about social emotional learning. So super happy, and I will see you all at some point when we're online together. Okay, bye.